Special edition of Saturday at the Boneyard. I have a burial today. It's behind us. But I got to start the water, you see. And the grass needs mowed, which means I need to start watering it. So we got that water line in. We had the valve replaced. I'm still getting 70 pounds of pressure up there, which is, 15 or 20 more than I want. So what I got to do today while I'm waiting for my burial to show up is I've got 4 extra heads on in that westernmost section, and I've got 9 on. Basically, there's one like right there to the north. It's basically the northwest corner of this section I've got turned on. So I want to see what it's going to do. If that gets me down to about 55 pounds, I will be pleased as punch, because this section, when I had it all turned on, we were getting about 40. So if this will drop from 75 to 50, 55, then this will go up that 15, which balances out just fine. But because they had to cut that pipe to put in the new valve, it had to drain. So all the pressure went way down. So now we got to wait for it to build back up. And I've got to check, because two of those heads, I don't think there's the volume to get them running. That's not terrible. That's a little bit better. So let's take a walk. Another nice cold east wind today. We had west wind for 3 days, which was very high wind, but not very cold. And now the last 2 days we've had a very moderate but cold east wind. That one's a little low. That one, yeah, we'll have to go shut these two off. I was fairly certain all our extra pressure wasn't going to solve the volume problem we had over here. I was hoping, but it didn't do the job. And I got a couple other heads I got to take a look at, because before I went home Friday, I dropped a couple of these heads back down to ground level, because we got to start mowing Monday. So this one right here, you see it's just kind of piddling. It should be getting across the road, but there's not enough volume. There's 4 heads right here that all run on the same line. So we'll turn that off. Then we'll turn this one off. Oh, bad spot. Yep. It's like the football. Got a juke and jive. Okay, so that bumped those 2 up. See, I see 1. I see 2. I maybe see 3. I should be seeing a 4th, and I don't see it. So let's go take a peek and see why that 4th sprinkler isn't sprinkleizing. I think it's just got too much dirt on top of it. That's what we did. See that one right there next to that headstone? There's 2 down there. There should be 1 right here, and it's just bubbling. It might be plugged up. I would almost bet, because I think I got some dirt in one of those when I was working on it. It must have been that one. Okay. We'll go shut the water off, pull this, and see what we can get. But those two are working just fine. Okay, yeah. Kind of cold. I think when I looked at it, the weather said it was 48, but with the wind blowing, it felt like about 38. I believe it. Our water's cold. I don't remember how deep the well we pump from is up here. The one we use to do the other half of the cemetery is just like 100 and something feet down. I think this one's almost that. I think this is about 80. Water's cold that far down. The other thing we might check. One of those sprinklers was on that. One was on that piece. Should be a third piece. Oh, over there. Had this post next to one of them. Had this bit of fence post next to one of them. We want that. Yeah, shutting those other two off got us up to an even 50. Each one of those heads, quick math, about 1.5 pounds. Pretty close. May want those. Anything else I may want? Oh, I still have a notepad in my pocket. That's a hunter. I don't want to use those. We're using these K-rings. So I'm going to take this one out of the can. It's got an 8. So the K-ring here owns the patent for the design that Hunter uses. So if you've got a Hunter canister, right, like that right there, that's not a Hunter, but if you have a Hunter canister and you want to put a K-ring head in it, you can do that, and vice versa, because they're all the parts are the same. I think the nozzles might be a little different. Excuse me, it's sniffly. But one of these, the RPS 75, 75i, the K-ring version is like $8 or $9. The Hunter version is like 12. So it saves us a little money. All right. There we go. Take this other one. in. I don't think there's anything wrong with this one. I think it's just got some crud in it. Actually, what we should do, let's do this instead. Let's just go turn it on. Fire it up, we'll let the sprinklers kick on, we'll count to 10, shut it off, come back, put that nozzle back in, turn it on again. So, you see how it's really kind of yellow right off the road, but it's greener down there? Because this is so close to the asphalt, it's the drier part. It's the hotter part because the asphalt gets hot in the sun. The water runs downhill into the low spots. Like that's a low spot. That's a low spot. So, like around that sprinkler, that's pretty yellow. Down here, it's a little lower, so it's green. A little greener. We haven't had a ton of water, like rain, etc. So I don't know where it's really all getting its green from. It's been so windy, we haven't even had dew in the mornings. I gotta get the water on so we can get all that yellow crap to not be quite so yellow. Doesn't need to grow anymore. It's damn tall. Okay. I'm looking at a sprinkler just to the left of those cones. Not the one on this side of the road, the one on that side. It's doing its thing. Okay, the one just left of the one we just took apart is up. So let's give it a 10 count. We should be almost seeing just a geyser, but I don't think we're quite there yet. All right, 1,000, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, a 10. Plus or minus. Yeah, that's good. We may have to go and poke in there a little bit. I like doing this stuff on Saturdays because we're technically closed. So there's not a lot of distractions, interruptions, etc. But I don't like being at work on a Saturday if I don't have to be sometimes. Sometimes, you know, being at work on a Saturday would actually be a lot nicer than being at home on a Saturday. But not all the time. This one, when I drop that, that's probably 1.25 inches, reducing to a 3/4, so I'm gonna have to dig down. Hopefully that has a coupler on it somewhere that I can work with. Okay, I don't have a lot of water coming out of there. That's concerning. That's a little concerning. May have to dig it back up. Got a couple down there that are still, and that one down there is still doing its thing. This one should be doing the same, and it ain't doing the same. And I don't know why it ain't doing the same. I don't want to dig it up, but I probably better. Alright. Mayhap I will return when we have a working sprinkler. Mayhap I won't. We'll see what time my burial gets here and how much I remember to do another video. Before we get into the wherefore and the why and all this other nonsense, I enjoy podcasts. I listen to, 8 or 10 a week. Not weekly, because not all of them are weekly shows, but every once in a while, one show just really, really goes nuts with an ad. And it drives me nuts. Like this one show I listen to comes out 3 times a week. They've got little side shows that are part of the same network. I listen to those. And I've heard the same ad, I'll bet 7 times in the last week, and it's obnoxious. Anyway, the culprit was in this little piece of pipe. There's a little bend there. I think I hit it with the shovel. It was full of mud. And then got it all put back together. Might not be able to see it. Inside the bottom of that can, that's a root. And I can't get it out of there. So, dug it up, replaced the chunk of pipe, cleaned it, all the usual. So now we're gonna hoof it back up here because I think I left the valve in the sprinkler head closed. Because I don't see it, and we should be seeing it. Then I've got to turn this one back on. I was parked right here. I got tired of walking all the way back. My shoes are soaked. They've been worse, but this is wetter than I wanted them to be today. Okay. So I left the water on, and I came up and I took the whole thing apart, and it's just dribbling. So I'm like, something's plugged up. God damn it. Plugged up to the point where my little bendy flag wasn't doing the job. Okay, where are we? Right there. I see water. I see nothing. God damn it. Why am I getting nothing? I should be getting something. Let me tell you something else. Working up here sucks because there's pine needles all over the damn place. That's plugged up again. That's what that means. That's plugged up again. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Found the problem. One, that line is plugged. But because there's a plug in that line, we had a pipe break. And I'll show you how we had a pipe break. My day Monday just went bad. This one's not going to be fun. It's not. been an hour and a half trying to get one sprinkler to work. And why won't it work? Maybe this can shed a little light on the subject. Maybe you see the situation here. That's where we got a broken pipe. Probably right about here, just under that headstone. So gonna have to dig up over here somewhere. There we go. It picked that headstone up. Barry, right there. He's doing that now. Yeah. So, I don't know. Could have plugged up there and enough back pressure caused this to come apart. There's probably one of those stupid union things that I hate over here. So, Monday, I'm just going to dig the whole thing up, find where it couples, and put it together correctly, as opposed to the lazy way. But we want to get all this water out of here first. It's like a waterbed, man. So, yeah. So now I got that to worry about. What was that from? Well, it's from something. I'm gonna bet. I'll bet you a hot and ready $5 Little Caesars pizza. So that's where the problem is. Well, I know that's where the problem is, but I'll bet you that's what it is. It's going to be one of those compression fittings. You know the ones. I'll show you. I'll even show you. Nice guy that I am. So I should water this instead. But if I close the valve up there to turn the water off up here, I'm not going to get as much water draining out of there. So it's all screwed up. This thing, I'll bet you there's one of those under there and that pipe in it is just spinning and spun its way loose. Because heaven forbid, that's threaded right there. That's threaded. That's threaded. There's better ways to do that. God, it makes me mad. Because it's lazy. It's lazy. And someone else going about it the lazy way has, it makes more work for me. Because they couldn't be bothered to do it right. So now that's going to take a third of my day. It's going to take me a couple hours. Dig it up, find out what size pipe it is. If it's 1 inch, I'm not going to come out of it 3/4. I'll come out of it 1 inch, and that'll give me a little extra to work with come next week. And maybe I want to tee it off and add another one somewhere. Maybe that's something I'd like to do. The whole reason I was trying to get water up here is we put this new valve in. It's in a 4-inch pipe. And I wanted to get all of this dirt. to go down and settle so I could top it up next week. But I can do that because I can't put the water on it. My burial's probably going to be here in the next 10 or 15 minutes. So we're just going to open this and we'll water this. Oh boy. Oh boy. Grumble, mumble, grumble, grumble. Talking to myself more than usual. I'm annoyed. I am annoyed. Never once, ladies and gentlemen, in the 4 years I've been here, it's not a terribly long time, but I can extrapolate out. Never once have I had a repair similar to that, because I've never had to do a repair quite like that, but never once have I had a repair like that where it's been a break in the pipe or a split fitting or something like that. Never once. Every single time it's been one of those unions. I don't even know what the hell they're called. I don't call it a coupler because I don't consider it a coupler. I know it couples, but that's a coupler to me. That's two pieces being coupled together. Grumble. Grumble, ladies and gentlemen. The biggest grumble of them all. Oh, look, the guys didn't rake up under this tree like they were supposed to. So now I gotta tell them Monday, go rake up under that tree. But I know if I'm working on that while they're over here, they're gonna come over there, hey, what you doing? I'm gonna say, that's a funny way to rake. And they're gonna say, we don't have to be such an asshole about it. To which I will say, yeah, I probably do. I probably do. You play to your strengths, ladies and gentlemen. And asshole is one of my strengths. Perhaps my greatest strength. Anyway. It's not gonna be like, oh my god, this sucks. This is the worst job ever. Why the hell am I doing this? You know, it's not going to be anything like that. It's just going to be like, I had other stuff to do. Now, I know they raked under this one, but we've had a week straight of wind. Ain't much you can do about that. But that other one, that didn't get any raking at all. Ain't no way. Another thing I discovered is so we put the one new valve in, then we put the other one down a little farther to run the new water line through, right? We talked about that a while ago. And I covered them up. There's a box covering each one to keep them protected and nice and clean and easy to get to and blah, blah, blah. And as I was driving back out and around down the road, the lid of my box was off. I'm like, well, why is that off? And someone had closed the valve. And we were still running totally great with that valve closed. But that valve needs to be opened, man. So, opened it. Came down here to fire up the pump again, and kept looking and waiting for that because I didn't have even a sprinkler on it. Kept waiting for it to geyser on up out of the ground, and it never did. So I took a walk up there. That's when I saw the blister. And then what happens? I don't even get to see what the pressure was. I had to come back and turn it off. I need a beer. This is beer o'clock yet. It's after 12. I'm kind of fishing. Kind of camping. Man. And look, here's to make matters even worse. I have some leftovers at home that I was going to have for lunch. The microwave died last night. The microwave featured in the opening of the Electric Leftovers podcast. I was heating some stuff up, and then microwave started making noises. Noises that you maybe don't want a microwave to make. Like high voltage arc kind of noises. That means the transformer's going bad. So I had to shell out like $90 for a new microwave this morning. All my life. I wish there was a better way to do this. This is probably why I've got tendonitis in my hand doing this crap. Got one finger, this one with a dot on it. We've talked about that. That's not a ink, that's a blood blister. That's the one I don't have any feeling in. Broke this one, broke that one, broke that one. Arthritis in both hands and probably my back. Tendonitis. My left elbow's all screwed up. Could use some new knees here in the next 10 years or so. And finally, I probably got a bad hip too. I see a car. If I had two hands, I'd be done by now. And they're probably going to come up here. Hey, do you know blah, 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 blah? I'm going to say, nope. Can't help you. Oh, nope, he's turning the other way. Might be here for the funeral. I don't even want to turn this one on. I'm afraid something else is going to explode. Had we had a little more pressure, we would have had a really perfect opportunity for a Daniel Day-Lewis kind of situation. There Will Be Blood. Isn't that what that movie's called? I haven't seen that in ages. I need to watch that again. I think that's my favorite character he's ever played. Better not have dimpled my... Oh, you did. Thanks, Milwaukee. That's not safe. Oops. Now before I go down there, let's just make sure no sprinklers over across the street turn on. Okay, that little guy's doing his thing. That's doing his thing. That's fine. That's what we want. One right over there by the road is turning on. Over there in the corner's turning on. That one right over there is turning on. That one's fine. Okay. Hooray! Hooray.